All right, so we're diving into the world of primary school PE today.
PE.
Yeah, but not just like dodgeball and, those fitness tests.
Right.
We're going to look at like how important specialist PE teachers can be.
hmm
I was reading this research and it said that kids who have specialist PE teachers are like way more likely to stay active when they grow up.
Yeah, that's one of the most interesting things about this is how much we underestimate the power of, those early experiences.
Totally.
In PE, it's really not just about throwing a ball or running fast. It's about building like a foundation.
Yeah, okay, so before we get too far into this, maybe we should clarify what we mean by specialist PE teachers.
Yeah, right.
We're talking about educators who have specific training in PE.
hmm
And it turns out they're pretty hard to find.
Yeah.
I was looking at some research by Timothy Lynch, and
Oh, yeah.
he says there's only like one specialist PE teacher for every 5 schools in Australia.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Because research has shown over and over that kids who are taught by specialist PE teachers do way better.
That's interesting. I mean, but like, does that just mean they're better athletes or something?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
Well, there's this study by Kelly, Dagger, and Walkley,
Okay.
and it was done back in 1992.
Wow, a long time ago.
Yeah, and it found that students with specialist teachers improved a lot more in what are called fundamental motor skills.
Okay, fundamental motor skills. That sounds kind of technical. What does that even mean?
It's actually pretty simple. It's basically the basic movements that form the foundation for more complex things.
Okay.
Like running, jumping, throwing, catching, kicking, all that stuff.
Oh, so it's like the ABCs of movement.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need those basics before you can like write a sentence,
Yeah.
or in this case, like play a sport or
Exactly.
do something complicated.
You got it. And when kids learn these skills early on, it sets them up for success, not just in sports, but in anything physical.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So having a specialist teacher can actually impact a kid's coordination and all that.
Oh, absolutely. And those skills are essential for a healthy life. It can
Yeah.
even help with their confidence and self-esteem.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, and it gets even more interesting because PE is changing. It's not just about basic fitness anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's becoming more holistic.
Holistic. Everyone keeps using that
Well, I
word.
know, right? But it basically means we're looking at the whole child,
Okay.
their physical, emotional, social, and even cognitive development. It's not just about how fast they can run.
Oh, so it's about their mental and emotional well-being too.
Yes, exactly. It's about getting them to love being active and teaching them things like teamwork and communication through movement.
It makes me think about my own PE classes.
Mhm.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, well, traditional PE was very focused on competition,
Yeah.
which is fine for some people, but can be really off-putting for others. So this new way is more inclusive and tries to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable participating no matter what their skill level is.
Oh, I like that. So we're talking about a big change in how we think about and teach PE.
Yeah, a huge shift. And a lot of educational systems are changing their guidelines to reflect that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like here in Queensland, the HPE syllabus has some key elements for a successful modern PE program.
Oh, that's interesting. What are some of those?
Well, the first one is that the program needs to follow clear standards.
Okay, so it's not just random activities.
Right. There's a plan to make sure kids are learning the right skills at the right time.
Got it.
And they emphasize that activity and skill development should be at the center of every lesson.
So instead of just drills, it's more about doing activities that let kids explore movement in a way that's fun for them.
Yes, exactly. And that's where specialist teachers are so important.
Right.
They understand how kids develop and how to adapt their teaching for different types of learners.
So this new way of doing PE needs a lot more from teachers.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just about knowing how to play sports.
Right.
It's about creating a learning experience that helps a child grow in every way.
I'm starting to see why that shortage of specialist PE teachers is such a big deal.
Absolutely. They're crucial for this new vision of PE.
It makes you think about all the kids who might be missing out just because they don't have a good PE program.
It's true.
Yeah.
We often focus on the health benefits, but it's also about helping kids reach their full potential.
Yeah, and it's about more than just meeting standards. It's about giving kids the confidence to move their bodies and enjoy it.
Exactly.
So we were talking about how important those specialist PE teachers are.
Yeah.
But what happens in schools that don't have one?
Well, in a lot of cases, you have classroom teachers taking on those PE classes.
Oh, so like the same teacher who teaches math or history might also be teaching PE.
Yeah, exactly.
I I guess that makes sense, but it also seems like it could be a problem.
Yeah.
Because being a great English teacher doesn't necessarily mean, how to teach PE.
Right, especially with this new approach we've been talking about.
Hmm.
It needs a whole different set of skills.
So some classroom teachers might be doing their best, but they might not have the right background knowledge.
Yeah, they might not.
So it's not just about having someone there to supervise the kids.
No, it's not.
It's about having someone who actually knows how to teach a good quality PE program.
Absolutely.
And that kind of brings us back to the shortage of specialist teachers.
Exactly. Every kid deserves to have a good PE program no matter where they go to school.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder how many kids are missing out on the chance to be active just because they haven't had the opportunity to learn and grow in a good PE environment.
That's a really good point. We often focus on the health benefits,
Yeah.
but it's also about helping kids discover a love of movement.
Right. It's not just about meeting some fitness standards.
No.
It's about helping kids feel confident and happy about moving their bodies.
Exactly. And that's where these new goals for PE come in. Because research is showing that PE can actually teach kids important life skills.
Really? Like what kind of skills?
Well, imagine a PE class where kids are learning about teamwork.
Okay.
Maybe they're playing soccer. But they're not just trying to win. They're learning to communicate with each other and solve problems together.
So they're getting exercise and learning life skills at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Queensland HPE syllabus really stresses those things.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, things like including everyone,
Okay.
working together, and taking responsibility.
So it's not just about running laps and doing push-ups anymore.
No, not at all. It's about understanding that physical education can help create healthy communities, too.
Right. Okay, so let's go back to those classroom teachers who might be leading PE classes.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges they might face?
Well, one of the biggest ones is just not having the training.
Right.
They might be amazing at teaching other subjects,
Yeah.
but they might not know enough about movement skills or how to create a really inclusive environment for PE.
So even if they're trying their best, the kids might not be getting the best possible PE experience.
That's right.
And without the right training, it must be hard to teach kids with different needs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because every kid learns differently.
Right.
And a specialist teacher would know how to change the activities so that everyone can participate and feel successful.
So it seems like not having enough specialist teachers could really affect how kids see physical activity.
Absolutely.
And that's why we need to find ways to support both specialist teachers and those classroom teachers who are doing their best to fill the gap.
I completely agree.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about technology before, and I'm really curious about what role it could play in PE.
It's definitely a tricky one.
How so?
Well, on the one hand, technology can make PE more exciting and accessible for kids.
Okay.
You know, you've got things like virtual reality games
Yeah.
and interactive platforms where they can track their progress.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and even things like fitness trackers, which can make it more fun to be active.
So it's kind of like meeting kids where they're at
Right.
and using technology to get them interested in moving their bodies.
Exactly. But the problem is that technology could also end up replacing real physical activity.
Oh, I see.
And we definitely don't want that.
So how do we find a balance? How do we use technology without losing sight of what PE is really all about?
That's a tough question. And I think it all comes down to using technology intentionally.
Really?
Well, it means using technology to enhance the PE experience,
No.
but not to replace it.
So it's about being thoughtful about how we use technology.
Exactly. Like maybe you could use a virtual reality program to teach kids about different sports.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or you could even use it to take them on a virtual field trip to a national park.
Oh, wow. I like that.
Yeah, and you can use technology to create individual fitness plans or track progress, which can be really motivating for some kids.
And you could use interactive games to teach things like teamwork. So it seems like there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
But it also seems like you need to know what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. You need teachers who are trained in how to use these tools effectively.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different aspects of PE,
We have.
but I want to go back to something we touched on earlier,
Okay.
the idea of play.
Ah, yes, play.
Because I think it's easy to forget about that when we're talking about curriculum and technology.
It's true, but play is so important.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the foundation of childhood,
Yeah.
and it's a crucial part of a good PE experience.
I remember reading that play helps kids develop social skills,
Yeah.
problem-solving skills, and even creativity.
Right. It's not just about running around.
No.
It's about using their minds and bodies in a way that's fun and stimulating.
And it seems like kids today have less opportunity for that kind of free play.
That's true with all the screens and organized activities.
Right.
But PE can help with that
Okay.
by creating a playful environment in PE class.
Mm-hmm.
We can encourage kids to move their bodies in new and creative ways.
So how do we make sure that play stays a part of PE?
It's about finding a balance.
Okay.
It's not about choosing between play and skill development.
Right.
It's about bringing them together.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. You could use games to teach specific skills,
Okay.
like throwing or dribbling,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also give kids the freedom to be creative within those games.
So it's about having structure, but also giving kids some choices.
Exactly. And that's where a good PE teacher can really make a difference.
Okay.
They can create an environment that's both structured and playful.
So it's like walking a tightrope.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about what you're teaching,
Mm-hmm.
but you also have to create an atmosphere where kids feel free to explore and have fun.
And one thing that's come up a lot in our conversation is this idea of inclusion.
Yes, inclusion is so important.
It's about making sure that all kids feel welcome in PE,
Absolutely. No matter what their skill level is.
right? And it's not just about kids with disabilities.
No, it's not.
It's about understanding that everyone is different
Right.
and making sure that everyone feels comfortable and engaged.
It's about creating a space where everyone feels safe to try new things.
Yeah, and to make mistakes.
Exactly.
It sounds challenging,
It is.
but I bet it's also really rewarding.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
When you see a kid who used to be afraid to participate suddenly get excited about PE,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And it reminds us that PE is about so much more than just being physically fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about confidence and social skills and resilience.
And it's about helping kids develop a healthy relationship with movement that will last a lifetime.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of different things.
We have.
But before the break, we were talking about play and how important it is.
Play is so important.
I know, I was reading that it helps kids develop social skills and all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just running around, it's like engaging their minds and bodies.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Play lets them test their limits and learn how their bodies move. It's how they build those basic skills we talked about.
Right, like running and jumping and all that. It makes me think about how much more active kids used to be.
Yeah.
You know, just spending hours playing outside.
Yeah.
Now it seems like there's less time for that kind of free play.
That's a good point. But PE can help with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If we make PE class more playful,
Okay.
it can encourage kids to move in new ways and actually enjoy being active.
So how do we make sure that play stays a part of PE? How do we balance that with teaching skills and stuff?
It's about finding that balance. You don't have to choose one or the other. You can integrate them.
Yeah.
Like you could use games to teach specific skills,
Yeah.
but also give kids the freedom to be creative within those games.
So it's about having some structure, but also giving them space to make their own choices.
Exactly. And that's where a good PE teacher is so important.
Right.
They know how to create an environment that's both structured and playful.
It's kind of like walking a tightrope.
It takes skill. You have to be intentional about what you're teaching, but you also have to let kids explore and have fun.
And something else that's come up a lot is this idea of inclusion.
Inclusion is so important.
Making sure that all kids feel like they belong in PE.
Absolutely. No matter what their ability level is.
Right. And it's not just about kids with disabilities.
No, it's about understanding that everyone is different
Right.
and creating a space where everyone feels comfortable.
Yeah. So everyone feels safe to try new things and maybe even mess up a little.
Exactly.
That sounds like a lot to think about.
It is, but it's so rewarding.
I bet. It must be amazing to see a kid who was once scared to participate suddenly love PE.
It really is. It reminds you that PE is about so much more than just physical fitness.
Yeah, it's about confidence and social skills and all sorts of things.
Right, and it's about helping kids have a good relationship with movement that will last their whole lives.
That's a great way to put it. And it makes me think we really need to support our PE teachers.
We do. We need to give them the resources they need and let people know how important PE can be for kids.
I totally agree. It's an investment in our kids' future.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one last thought. We've talked about a lot of different things, but the most important thing is passion.
Passion.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
passion of the teachers, the passion of the students, and the passion for movement itself. When you have that, everything else falls into place.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it reminds me that PE isn't just a subject. It's something that can really inspire kids.
Exactly.
So let's all do our part to support quality PE and encourage our kids to find the joy in moving their bodies.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into primary school PE. We hope you learned something new.
And maybe you'll even feel inspired to get moving yourself.
That's a great idea. Maybe I'll go for a run later.
Thanks for listening.